with profound gratitude and great humility, I accept your nomination for presidency of the United States.
That was a decade ago. Barack Obama's message of hope and change captured the hearts of Democrats and progressives across the nation. Now, many of them say they believe a similar craze could be sweeping the nation again in the form of Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke. The Washington Post dubbing it Beto Mania, and his media coverage in general has been, well, watch.
You're a rock star.
No, there's just so many great
really
people who
You
are.
can't go anywhere without getting.
Hey!
So did a guy named Barack Obama when he was running for Senate. You know, he just kind of has this it factor that a lot of Democrats don't have these days.
Beto overperformed like you would not believe.
A lot of Democrats look at Beto O'Rourke and see Bobby Kennedy.
They see Bobby Kennedy, they see a young leader who is prepared to, I think, change the country in many ways. He is clearly somebody to look at for the future.
Boy, they're in love with Beto. Is that a wave through 2020, or will it be a burst bubble? Joining me now, Karl Rove, former Deputy Chief of Staff under President George W. Bush and a Fox News contributor. Great to see you. Marie Hart, former State Department spokesperson and a Fox News analyst who's been laughing through the entire scene. Karl, I am going to start with you. What's the deal with Beto?
Robert Francis O'Rourke, look.
Wow.
You always do that, Karl. Always.
Yeah, I do.
I know.
You know, that's how he appeared on the ballot. I'm merely repeating the name that he had on the ballot when the Texans went to the polls and voted him down. I mean, think about this. He's run for the U.S. Senate and lost against one of the least liked members of the U.S. Senate, and suddenly that somehow qualifies him to run for president. This says something about the desperation of the Democrats or the paucity of the field, or I don't know what, but we'll see how it develops, but this is not Barack Obama who got elected to the U.S. Senate in Illinois and gave an outstanding speech to the Democratic National Convention that in 2004. This is somebody who ran against a very unpopular sitting incumbent and lost. So we'll see.
Democrats love about him, Marie? I mean, because Karl has some good points about the fact that, yeah, Texas was red and so on and so forth, but Ted Cruz at one point was really struggling.
Yeah, and Beto did overperform in Texas. And I think he helped down.
What does that even mean?
Well,
he raised $38 million. How do you overperform when you got more cash like it's like a plane full?
He overperformed what a typical Democrat would do running for the U.S. Senate in a state like Texas. And I also think he helped down ballot Democrats running in congressional districts that ended up unseating some Republicans. Democrats like Beto because he is a very good politician, and I don't think this is the last we'll see of him. He is very good at motivating people. He certainly did that in this election. But I also think Democrats need to be very careful. We don't need to find the second coming of Barack Obama. We don't need a savior. We all need to take a deep breath. The primary process is in place. There will be a lot of people running, and we don't need to identify the next Barack Obama sitting here in November of 2018. It will be okay. Democrats, I think, are struggling to find that perfect candidate, that next Bobby Kennedy, that next Barack Obama.
Well, you
and we actually don't have to do that right now. That's
maybe
okay.
you do. Maybe you do, because you got to go up against Donald J. Trump, and that's not going to be easy. Karl?
Look, Robert Francis O'Rourke spent $80 million. And yeah, he's got a lot of charisma, but if he had run a smart campaign rather than a dumb campaign, he could conceivably have won. Here's a guy in a red state who came out in June for impeachment of the president, who came out in favor of Medicare for all, $32 trillion, universal jobs guarantee, a guaranteed federal wage for anybody who needed it, free college loan forgiveness, and said stupid things like, quote, I can't think of anything more American than deciding to take the knee. If he'd run a smart campaign, he could conceivably have beaten Ted Cruz, but he didn't. And again, look, lots of things can happen. I think Maria is absolutely right. Don't need to go try and recreate Barack Obama. That's not possible. Let's see how well he fares over the next 2 years if he actually does become a candidate.
Yeah. So it's interesting to hear Karl Rove say you probably could have helped him win. That's what I hear you saying. And you had $38 million to do it.
Yeah, look,
he spent $80 million. That's the thing. He grossly outspent Ted Cruz and yet came up short because of the quality of his campaign.
Well, I also think because of the state of Texas, which you know better than I do, Carl, he also helped those down ballot candidates in Texas, I think, in those congressional districts.
Oh, great.
And
that's going to be a great message. Have me be the Democratic president for candidate. Have me be the Democratic candidate for president. I'll lose, but I'll help some people at the very bottom
Carl,
of the ticket.
This is the
Not
thing.
exactly a compelling
Nobody
message.
is crowning Beto O'Rourke the next Democratic nominee for president.
You're not.
He will be part of a field.
But some people in your party are.
A lot of people are going to run, and I actually have been telling my fellow Democrats the primary process might actually work here. Let's hear from all the candidates. Exactly what you said. Let's see how he does when he's up against a Joe Biden or a Kamala Harris or a Mitch Landrieu, and we'll see if all of this political skill that he clearly has makes it on the presidential stage. We don't have to coronate him today.
All right. So speaking of coronation.